The command center of the Galactic Coalition warship Zenith Prime hummed with tension as the holographic display showed another sector falling to the Kralix swarm. Admiral Vexither, a towering crystalline with translucent blue skin, slammed his appendage against the console. "We've lost the outer rim," he announced, his voice crackling like shattering glass. "Recommendation: full retreat to the core systems." Alexa Chen stood in the corner of the bridge, arms crossed, watching the alien commanders panic. She was 28, lean and sharp-eyed, with her dark hair pulled back in a regulation bun. The small human contingent aboard the ship had been treated as little more than observers, remnants of a species the galaxy had assumed were myth until first contact 3 years ago. "With respect, Admiral," Alexa said, stepping forward. "Retreat isn't an option." The bridge fell silent. Vexither's crystalline features shifted in what might have been amusement or contempt. "Commander Chen, your species has been part of the Coalition for mere rotations. The Kralix have been our enemy for centuries. We know what must be done. You know how to lose slowly," Alexa corrected. "That's different." Before Vexither could respond, the proximity alarms blared. A Kralix battle group had emerged from subspace 12 bioships, each the size of a cruiser, their organic hulls pulsing with hostile intent. "Battle stations," Vexither ordered. "Prepare for, belay that." A new voice cut through. Nox Rivera strode onto the bridge, his military boots echoing against the metal floor. He was broader than Alexa, with dark eyes that had seen too much combat, and the insignia of humanity's Special Operations Division on his chest. "We're taking point." "Impossible," Vexither said. "Your ships are primitive. Your weapons are effective," Nox finished. "That's the word you're looking for." Alexa moved to Nox's side, and together they approached the tactical display. The other Coalition officers insectoid Katara, gaseous nephrons, mechanical synths all watched with barely concealed skepticism. Humans were supposed to be legends, stories told in the old archives. A species that destroyed themselves in nuclear fire, or ascended to higher dimensions, or never existed at all. Then humanity had shown up at the edge of Coalition space in crude FTL ships, very much alive, and very much determined to prove themselves. "The Kralix rely on swarm tactics and biological regeneration," Alexa said, manipulating the hologram. "But they're predictable. They always target the largest ship first, then work their way down. We've known this for years." A Katara officer chittered. "It hasn't helped, because you fight them like you fight everyone else," Nox said. "With honor, with formations, with rules." He smiled, and it wasn't friendly. "We don't have those limitations." Within minutes, the human battle group emerged from the Zenith Prime's hangar bay. 6 small frigates, their hulls scarred and retrofitted, each bearing names in Earth languages: Valkyria, Samurai, Spartan, Viking, Apache, Zulu. They looked like children's toys compared to the massive Coalition dreadnoughts. The Kralix swarm turned toward them like a single organism. Sensing easy prey, Alexa commanded the Valkyria, her crew a tight-knit group of 20 humans who had trained together since the first contact wars. "All ships, go dark," she ordered. "Kill your signatures. Let them get close." The human ships went silent, drifting like debris. The Kralix, detecting no threat, began to move past them toward the Zenith Prime. "Now," Nox said from the Spartan. The human ships exploded into action. They didn't fire energy weapons or launch plasma torpedoes like the Coalition forces. Instead, they unleashed railgun volleys. Solid tungsten slugs accelerated to relativistic speeds. Too fast for the Kralix to dodge, too dense for their organic armor to absorb. Nuclear-tipped missiles followed. Not the clean antimatter weapons the Coalition used, but dirty, brutal fission devices that filled space with radiation. The lead Kralix bioship simply disintegrated, its biological systems unable to cope with the kinetic trauma. 3 more followed within seconds on the Zenith Prime's bridge. The Coalition officers watched in stunned silence as the humans tore through the Kralix formation. Like wolves among sheep, the human ships moved erratically, unpredictably, breaking every rule of formation combat. They used the wreckage of destroyed enemies as cover. They rammed damaged bioships, sacrificing armor for killing blows. "Insane," Vexither whispered. "They fight like they're already dead. No, said an elderly synth. Its optical sensors fixed on the display. They fight like they've died before and came back angrier. Alexa's voice crackled over the comm. Coalition fleet, move forward. We've broken their formation. Press the advantage. For a moment, no one moved. Then Vexithor straightened his crystalline form. All ships, advance. Support the human battle group. The tide turned. With the Krallics swarm disrupted and the humans harrying their flanks, the coalition forces pushed forward with renewed vigor. Within an hour, the Krallics were in full retreat, something that hadn't happened in living memory for any species aboard the Zenith Prime. When the human crews returned to the flagship, they found the hangar bay packed with coalition personnel. As Alexa and Nox disembarked, the assembled aliens did something unprecedented. They saluted in their various species traditions. Vexithor approached, his crystalline features reflecting newfound respect. I owe you an apology, Commander Chen, Commander Rivera. We thought humans were legends, ancient stories. We never imagined that we'd be this crazy. Nox offered with a grin. That you'd be this effective, Vexithor corrected. Your tactics are unconventional. We prefer creative, Alexa said. On Earth, we had a saying, if you find yourself in a fair fight, your tactics suck. Nox nodded. The galaxy's been fighting the Krallics with honor for centuries and losing. Sometimes you don't need honor. You need humans on the front line. As news of the battle spread through coalition space, humanity's reputation shifted overnight. They weren't myths or legends anymore. They were the species you called when the odds were impossible, when the rules didn't matter. When survival was more important than glory, they were the ones who took the front line, and the galaxy would never be the same.